Good evening, everybody. We are live, baby. Yeah, yeah. What is happening, y'all? We are here with our late night talks. This is for the folks that like to hang out late at night and chat with us. Yes, Michelle, we live, baby. What's up, Cody, my man? Cody, the best dressed hobo, is in the house. I'm trying to warm up. So in my office here, it's like an addition to our house, and did Courtney cut the heat off? I got like a heater in here, and it's like it ain't warmed up yet. I should have cut this on like an hour before I came in here. Then I'd have been good. But it's all right though. If I move around in my chair enough, I think I'll warm up a little bit. But I'm gonna let a few people come in here before we get started. I see we got a few people watching. I think Courtney's gonna be in the comments moderating because I know we'll get a few trolls in here because we're on YouTube. But that's okay. Every now and then I like to pay them some mind because they need love too, y'all. Sometimes the trolls, I like to show them some love. We live, baby. Yeah, Jessica, what's up, girl? We live, baby. Hey, hey. Yeah, y'all. I'd like to do this every now and usually I got my boy Chris Mendez with me, but he's been real busy, y'all. This dude Chris, hopefully he'll see it and jump on and just pop in the comments. But Chris Mendez has been very busy creating a lot of content. I don't know if y'all ever heard of it, but he's with the not social. He's with the Signal Network, creating a lot of content, a lot of videos, and that dude is just rolling. And he's also a law enforcement officer, y'all. So that dude stays busy, and he's an investigator, so he does all kind of stuff. Um, Joseph Simpson, hey guy, and Gerald, cool investigation. Yeah, it was pretty wild. Um, I don't know if you're talking about the one from the cemetery today or the one from last night at the tunnel. Both of them were pretty dope, though. They were pretty cool. I don't know if you watch which one you tuned in on, but I'm assuming if I had to guess, Joseph, you were watching us from TikTok. But yeah, pretty cool, pretty cool. See who we got. Heard about you from your podcast. Hey, welcome to the family, brother. Appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. I was about to talk like I was from like the 1800s. Thanks you, boss. But yeah, appreciate you tuning in. I'm gonna let a couple more jump in before I bring my lovely guest. Look, I like this lady, man. She and I communicate quite often. She keeps me updated. Actually a fan of this lady. I've been following her long before she even knew I was following her. She just happens to, we just happen to somehow the planets align and we happen to start communicating, which is cool. But I'm gonna bring her on in just a second. She's waiting patiently backstage, but I want to get a few more people in here because she deserves to be heard. And I'm not going to interrogate her. Tuesday night we interrogate people, but tonight we just have a conversation. We just like to talk. And we like to share theories because we actually share theories quite often. But she's been a huge supporter of Hill City Paranormal, and I just wanted to talk to her. She's got a lot of stuff going on, and I've got questions. I've got a lot of questions for her. I'm not going to interrogate you. She's listening to me. I hope she can hear me. I'm not going to interrogate you, but I do got some questions that I need answers for because I've been watching you, and I want to know. Yeah, tunnel was cool. Cody, work for you tonight. Let me investigate. Yeah, you got to investigate that job. Ain't nothing wrong with me. Hey, look, I got to work too, and I get it. I think when I got to work again. I don't know. I make the schedule, but yeah, it sucks. But we got to work, man. But Cody's probably one of the hardest working people I know. This dude works and investigates, There's nothing wrong with it, bro. I got much respect for that. Today, yeah, TikTok. Yeah, that church, we knew about that church. We say we stumbled upon it, and I'll tell you why we say we stumbled upon that church. I grew up in that area. That's my neck of the woods. The countryside of Bedford County. I knew about that church. The original church we were going to investigate the cemetery, the graveyard. Forgive me, y'all. Brains, we were up late last night, but we were the original one. Church had just laid out, and we try to respect people. You know, a lot of people don't believe in what we're doing, don't know what we're doing, and don't understand what we're doing. And I'm not going to sit there and be disrespectful in front of a lot of people. And plus, we like the peace, so we drove on down the word, and I was like, "Oh crap! Remember that little tiny graveyard that sits up on a hill?" And we just kind of stumbled upon it, and we were like, "We're going to do that one." Forgive me though. Normally, I don't just sit in the car, but here lately, I take a lot of blood thinners, y'all, and I get cold really quick. I used to not. Back in the day, I would roll in 20, 30-degree weather. It didn't bother me so much. But yeah, I think Carrie said something about me provoking trolls. Yes, I do. I still antagonize y'all. I antagonize the living, though, more than the dead. So yeah, trolls are welcome here until I get tired of you. Amy Moore, what's up, Jinkies? Jessica, I think, yeah, what's up, y'all? What's up, man? I'm sorry to not shout y'all out. Amy, welcome to the party, y'all. Saw an older podcast with you and Chris, learned stuff I didn't know. That's rare and awesome. We try to keep it real. Now, I don't think I know everything. I don't, but I've got 20 years of active investigating, and I'll say that, I've whatever I experience, I try to throw it out there and let you guys, think for yourself. So I appreciate all your kind words. It means a lot. It's very rare in our field that we hear that. So thank you. I appreciate it. We appreciate you tuning in. Make sure you give us a like, follow, support the channel. Thank you, sir. Best dress, investigate. Why? Yeah, right. Hey, we can always investigate on the low, though. What's up, Amy? How are you? Good to see you. Lovely. All right, so I done rambled enough. We got a few people in here. I'm going to bring in one of my favorites to watch. Let me go ahead and add Miss Michelle Wilfong with the Haunted Apartment. How you doing, ma'am?
Hi.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you.
Good. Okay. Look, I'm new to being in this side of the show here. Normally I'm sitting right here and Courtney's running it, but I'm trying something new here with the live thing. So forgive me if I'm not so fast with all how to do this technology stuff. So how are you tonight?
I'm doing great. I'm trying to get my camera in the right spot. I'm watching it in the computer, so it's confusing. There we go. Perfect.
That's the hard part, getting that camera angle. That's why I just got a webcam that sits on top of my computer. I'll never got to touch it. Because if I had to get the camera right, I'd be terrible at it.
I'm going to sign up for a class to learn how to use my computer better because I am just not very techy at all.
I can understand that technology changes so much that it's hard. Once you get good at one thing, then you got to learn something new right after you learn that. It changes. But I appreciate you coming on and chatting with me. I know you and I kind of talk back and forth a little bit about things going on, but what's new in your world though? Like, how's life treating you?
Well, I think I finally found some answers here. I'm not sure they're the answers I'm seeking, but I think it was all for a reason.
Okay. Now, you got, I want to let everybody know, Michelle has a series on YouTube, and I'm sure she has stuff that on her other channels as well. That Joseph, we're thankful for you too, and I appreciate you. I appreciate everything, all the support. But what's up? Shout out Courtney Nicole. You've got the Haunted Apartment, and I don't know if that's the name of it officially. All I know is that I actually stumbled across your channel. I didn't know nothing about your social media, none of that. I watch YouTube more than I watch anything, and I just came across somebody with a haunted apartment. I'm like, man, what is this crap? So I click on it, and I'm like, all right, whatever. And I kept watching. Then I'm watching. Then I watch again. Next thing you know, I'm watching like every. I just keep watching it because it's like almost like a TV series. And I'm like, what is going on in this woman's apartment? And next thing you know it, I see your name pop up on my social media, I guess because your phones are listening to you now. And I'm like, okay, now every time you post something, I'm like, what's going on in her apartment now? And so how long have you lived at this place? What's up, James Brady?
3 years and 7 days. So 3 years and a week. January 11th, 2022, I moved in.
3 years and a week. When did this activity that goes on in your apartment, when did you first notice? Was it off when you first went and looked at it, or did you notice it like, did you live there a while, or when you first got there, it was something strange? Like, how did that come about?
When I looked at the apartment, it felt very warm and welcoming, almost like I had been here before.
Hmm.
And the activity started the night I moved in. All my
Okay.
stuff, had everything moved in. I was taking stuff out of boxes, and the first thing I always hang up is my mom's rosary, and I hung it on a thermostat, a square thermostat on the wall. I hung it up, I turned around to get something else out of the box, and it hit the ground. And I'm like, wow, how did that happen? The box is 2 feet away from the thermostat. So I'm thinking, okay, that's weird. I hung up a sign that said home. It was like a DIY project, HOME. That I turned around, it hit the ground and shattered into a million pieces. So I thought, well, maybe the hanger on the back broke. So I turned it over, the hanger was fine. And the nail that I hung it up on it was still in the wall. I just hung something else there. So it was the first night I moved in.
Wow. So the first night you move in there, and just bam, it just starts happening.
It's like they knew that I was able to see them. I didn't really even believe in paranormal. When me and my sister were kids, we seen like a ghost and his donkey, like on my aunt's farm. And we told my aunt, "Hey, that guy with the donkey's here." And she looked at us and she looked over and she seen it too. But that was like when I was 8 years old or something. So it's really weird that I went all those years, had nothing going on, or I didn't notice it, right? Because I had some issues with addiction and things like that. So, um, huge substance abuse. So maybe I was just blind to it, but this was my first apartment on my own. Up until that point, I lived in sober housing, so I lived with a lot of other people. And so this was like a fresh start, right? My own place, it's all good. I move in and I'm like, what's going on here? There's something wrong here. I'm calling my son, my brother. There's something wrong with this place. Oh, there was crows. There were flies. I had to hang up fly strips because there were so many flies. And I thought, well, maybe it's because there's so many dead plants. So as soon as spring started, I started gardening, got everything in the little garden thing to grow. And I think that the natural energy liked that. They liked that I was putting in more plants. They liked that I was taking care of the older stuff that was all grown over. So that was great, but there were some terrifying times here, I'm not gonna lie, and some really negative energy.
Wow, that's a lot. So when you were battling your worst times of your life, and I'm not going to take you down that road, you said you didn't believe in the paranormal at that point. You
Right,
didn't.
I didn't even yeah,
Okay.
didn't believe in it, thought it was fake. Seen TV shows, but they always seem so over dramatized that, it's like, I think, I don't think that's real, I think they're faking it a bit. And I'm talking mainstream TV shows,
Oh yeah,
not
TV will make
YouTube,
you feel that way.
right? It was
Yeah,
just over dramatized.
it is. I agree with that. Watching the TV, even the social media people, the TikToks, the YouTubes, they'll make you feel that this is all a bunch of bullshit. It will. That's why even us we always like to tell people up front, we warn people that we are not content creators at all. We're not good at it. We just create content and hope people like it. And if you don't like it, that's fine. We're not everybody's cup of tea. or cup of coffee, however you want to put it. Hello, Lois Clark. How are you doing, lovely? Yes, we the TV shows, and I'm not going to hang on that too long because I don't like bashing people, because I do believe they have a place in this community. It keeps everybody interested. Lois says hello. But I think that, and as James Brady just brought up a really good point. That's how they got started, thinking it was all crap. It brings all the TV shows bring a lot. A lot of people bash them and hate them, but it brings a lot of curiosity to our world. It brings a lot of lightheartedness. A lot of people want to say, "Oh man, I want to do that. That looks fun. Let's do it." So I find it interesting that you say that you did not. James Brady says hello. You did not believe in it, and a lot of people who deal with your type issues with paranormal is they either didn't believe in it or they were at their lowest point in their life when something happened. And I've talked about this with many people, that especially the negative energies in the world. I don't like using the D word very often, but the negative energies in the world will draw to those who are at their lowest moment, or draw to those who don't believe. Even the cases of possession happen to most people who either were at their lowest or didn't believe. And you're living proof right here that you were at your lowest moment and you didn't believe. That's just it goes. That's why I love doing this right here. I love doing this because it confirms things that I've studied and wondered about and wanted to know. So continue. You moved in. It was day one. It started with your mother's rosary falling off of the nail. It was impossible for that to happen. At that point, what went on in your mind? Like, okay, why did it do that? Or do I need to get the hell out of here? Or how did you
Right.
feel at that point?
I was a little frightened, and then the first night here, I had to talk to a friend on the phone till I fell asleep because I was just uncomfortable. And about a week later, I'm in bed, and me, my dog, and my cat. My dog's on my right side, always sleeps right next to me. Something whistled over our head, right? And I open my eyes because I hear it. I look over at my dog, and my dog's ears are up. So not only I heard it, my dog heard it. So I knew there's something wrong here. What's going on? So I'm telling everyone there's something going on here, mostly my family and friends. Everyone's like, you're crazy. You're crazy. There's nothing going on. So my friend suggested um, and I was telling her I got flies. There's crows sitting on my car outside, like looking at me in the window. Like there's something wrong here. She goes, get some sage, and I'm gonna bring you some crystals and eagle feather. And so I did get some sage. She came over and we did a cleansing. When we were done with the cleansing, it smelled like roses in here. And I'm going, are you wearing perfume? She's like, no, I'm not either. What is that smell? She goes, I don't know, but it's funny. So I thought at that point, okay, everything's going to be fine. A week after that, I'm sitting in the house watching TV. Something brushes through my hair. It flew around my room. It was an orange orb, and it was about the size of a basketball. It was so vivid and moving so fast, I could see it spinning. It spun around the room. When it went through my TV, it left a zigzag pattern on the TV. And then it disappeared. And I was like, did I just see that? So I'm telling my son, like, there's something wrong. I seen an orange orb spin around the room. It wanted me to see it. Like, so at that point, I was like, I'm buying cameras. So I bought the Ring doorbell for outside and then inside camera. And so I just started recording. It was mostly motion detection, the motion camera. Something will, I don't know if it's noise or if it flashes in front of the camera and it sets it off, but just started recording. And I was like, what are all those orbs? Is that dust? So I'm like, I got a Dyson. I was like, I'm gonna make sure there's no dust in here. And it works good too, by the way. Dyson's pretty
Absolutely.
fun,
Yeah. That's top of the line.
right? So there's no dust. So I'm thinking, could it be moisture? Because I am in an L-shaped building that's a duplex or sixplex, six apartments. So I'm connected to three other apartments, but I'm on the end nearest the street. So the water comes through the parking lot and like through my apartment for the whole building, which is four apartments, and then there's two on the end of the L shape. So I was wondering, could it be moisture? So I was getting those moisture things that you hang in your closet that collect water,
The
hung
bags.
those all over. Yeah, so they, if there's any extra moisture, it'll grab it out of the air. So when I was filming it, I'm thinking those things should be working. There's like 10 of them hanging in here, right? There shouldn't be any moisture. What are those things? And I'm asking everyone, are those orbs or are they, what are they? So some of the orbs are small. Some of them appear as streaks, like lightning rods. And some of them are as big as basketballs and beach balls. They're, bigger than me. Um, so what I've noticed is if they like fly near me or near my head, because it's like they purposely will swoosh in front of me, and all you see is a trail because they move so fast it leaves like a tracer. So your ears will ring when they go past you. If they're too close, it'll make your ears ring and you'll feel static, I guess is a good word, or tingly, almost like a electrical charge. But I was going through stuff. I lost my uh, baby sister, my middle sister, and my husband that I was married to for 22 years, all to substance abuse. And it was like 2009, 2005, 2015. And then my parents in between there too. So I had just had a lot of loss. I was angry at everybody. And I was angry because it's like substance abuse, like it's not all meditation apps and candles. You have to suck up every moment knowing, without numbing yourself, knowing you burned your whole life down, right? And
Right.
face the mountain of debt and all the stuff that goes along with that. And so I was just angry. I was so angry, angry at God. Like, how could you because I was raised Christian. My mother was Jewish, my dad was Christian, but we were raised and baptized in a Christian church. So I was just angry at God. And here brought me closer to my faith and sort of spiritually enlightened me. And I don't know, reading the Bible relates so much to what's going on in my life. It parallels. So I do believe it was all for a reason. It was to say, look, there is everlasting life. So whatever's going on here is bigger than all of us. And I don't think we'll ever know the answers, right? Till we get to the other side.
I've been saying that for since I started investigating, that I don't think that we're ever going to know for sure. But that's what keeps me investigating, is to see how close I can get to finding out without finding out. I really don't know if I want to know. A lot of investigators, and I posed this question many times: if an investigator actually got the answer they wanted, could they handle it? And I think that's one of those things that God puts in place. I don't know if everybody has the same religion that I do, and that's okay if you don't. I respect everybody's religion. My best friend is a Muslim, and we just don't talk religion. I respect his what he believes. He respects what I believe. I'm one of those people. I can get along with anybody. I don't care what you believe. I don't care what your politics are. I don't care who you are. As long as you're a decent human, that's all I care about. Period. There's no left or right, no gray area with that. As long as you're a decent human to me and respectful, I'm respectful to you. And that's how I've always kept it. So in my religion, what I believe is that there's certain things that are in place that we're just not meant to find out until we get there, until we drive down that road. And I think there's a reason behind that. It's almost like in the Bible, we can't look at God directly because he's too powerful. So, but there's things that he has and there's knowledge he has. There's even scripture that talked about, I can't quote scripture, so I'm not good at it. And I don't even want to try to make myself sound smart and look dumb. But there's somewhere in the Bible where somebody walked behind God and felt the power and he broke down and cried because of how powerful he was. He didn't even get to look at him. He just walked past him with his back turned. And so there are things that I think you hit the nail on the head, that there's certain things that we're not meant to find out about. But I will say, going back to, and I know I may not look like I was paying attention, but what I was doing was taking notes on certain things you said that I wanted to touch on. You mentioned your apartment had the running water, the supply of the whole apartment running through your apartment. Do you think that running water could feel the energy of whatever is in your apartment?
I do believe so. I've tried to check ley lines, and I cannot. Everything I checked, like through the museum here, there's a city museum. They say that they don't have that information, that they don't know anything about ley lines. There's a power station. It is probably 2 miles from here, but the railroad tracks are not far either. So what else was like? Oh, this land was an orchard before apartments and houses were built here. And then before that, it was Native American territory, Clackamas Indians. And unfortunately, the whole tribe, just vanished because of disease and, yeah, war, things like that. So
Right.
there's a creek and a river that meet also, Johnson Creek and then the Willamette River. So, huge sources of water. But the city water is what's coming through here. So I do believe that energy travels with the water, but it's something that's connected to this land because I've had orbs with faces in them. And I have this one, I should have said, I'll send you the video later. I'm opening the door coming in with the dog, and this thing that's twisting flies past me. Well, when you see it, it almost looks like it could be a bug or a spider web. But if you slow the video down, as it's turning, you'll see a face pop up in the middle, and then it just whoosh vanishes. So I had to watch that video like 10 times and slow it down before I actually caught the face. Because I knew that was not a bug because I remember seeing the flash out of my peripheral. So I knew it was something, I just didn't know what it was. And the other thing is getting paranormal investigators to come investigate. A lot of people don't want to believe you. They kind of think, well, maybe she's on drugs, maybe she's, got mental health issues. And I'm like, no, 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 I can promise you I'm not on that stuff. So it was really hard to get people get their attention. Like, hey, there is something going on. Can you just investigate? Give me some validation that something's going on here. May not be 100%, but there's something going on here. And I was lucky enough to get two investigators, PNW Paranormal and PDX Paranormal. So both of them confirmed it is paranormal activity, and they do believe they are orbs and not dust or water droplets or bugs. Especially PDX, she explained it. She says when you walk in an older place and you're investigating, you'll see the dust in the air when you're walking through. If you bump something, you'll see the dust in the air. She goes, we were doing that here. I didn't see any dust. But I told her I made sure I dusted everything high and low so there wouldn't be any. And I vacuum. I'm OCD, one of my little problems from, mental health issues. And so I keep it pretty tidy. And I have pets, so I got cat hair and stuff. I got to vacuum all the time, you know.
Well,
So I believe they're paranormal orbs. I don't believe they're water or dust.
well, I want to get to a couple things, and you brought up several good points. You have a lot of good just by talking to you. Howie likes to, my buddy Howie. I know you know Ed Odell. Howie. He likes to call them parasites, people who just want people to come over and investigate, just to have somebody at your house investigating. You don't sound like that. You sound very intelligent and you're very knowledgeable, and you sound like somebody who's done a lot of research. And I'm gonna get to Courtney's question and in just a second, but I wrote this down. You keep talking about orbs, and for some reason, and I know why. So like, I don't want to say I don't know why, because I know why. But in this field, it seems like that is the most hated word in this field. Everybody just doesn't like it. Everybody's against it. I'm not one of those people who throw the word around. It's kind of like the demon word, you know. I don't throw these words around very often, and I think that it's mainly because I hear so much negative about it. Do they exist? Yeah. It's just like this dust exists. Yes. But as much videoing as I've done, even in old dusty locations, even when I'm not investigating, there's times where I just did urban exploring. I would just go in abandoned places just to see what's in there, just to see how people lived 100 years ago. Houses that were falling down. It wasn't even to investigate. Everywhere, my whole life isn't paranormal. I have many phases of my life other than paranormal. So even, there was times where Courtney and I, just for fun, would go ride down a back road and find a dilapidated house and as long as there was a no trespassing sign, wink to the cops that might be watching, we would just go into these houses and just see who might have lived there. And I would pull out my camera, and I know what dust looks like. There's a huge difference between dust and orbs, and I think common sense will tell you the difference between them. Just because, and it seems like every time an investigator sees a ball fly across the screen, it automatically reverts to dust, and it doesn't. We know the difference between dust and orbs. You could take a thing of dust in your hand and blow it and look at the camera, and the stuff that people capture looks nothing like that.
Agreed.
And it's just my opinion, y'all. So don't get mad at me. Don't cry, throw a fit. Or you can get mad. That's okay too. You can get mad and unfollow me. That's cool too. I don't do this for likes and follows. I do this to keep it real. I keep it 100 all the time. But what I'm saying is that yes, there are investigators who will see any and everything and call it an orb. I get it. I understand that. However, if there's people who's experiencing things in their house, in their life, and they're investigating and they're having all sorts of activity, and there's a ball that's flying around doing weird stuff, it's got a nucleus, and there's just one little ball doing weird stuff, we shouldn't automatically just say it's dust. And add the people, unless you're a dust expert, and that's what your job is, and that's what you do for a living, you can't just call everything dust. And it looks like you went through extensive. You went over. You did more than I would do. Put it that way. And I do this all the time. You see me out investigating everywhere, multiple times a week. You did way more than I do to make sure that it's not dust. So
Yes.
my hat's off to you. I give you a lot of props for that. I don't think that in this field that we should always jump to dust. If you have a ball of light or any kind of weird object that's floating around and doing weird stuff, and you're experiencing some sort of activity, I wouldn't automatically call it an orb all the time, but I think it's worth looking into. It's just like if a police officer who's an investigator sees something that's out of place, he doesn't automatically jump to that's the crime weapon or that's the who did the culprit, but he takes it into his evidence and he studies it and figures out, does this have anything to do with the case? So Courtney said, that's my rant, y'all, on orbs. And it's not the last time. But Courtney said, have you attempted to communicate or find out who or what is in your apartment? I know, right, Courtney?
Yes, I have. I have ovulists and I have caught some EVPs. You know, I really had to listen to like yours and other people's EVPs. So it takes a while to kind of get used to hearing them, right? Because at first it just sounds like a bunch of, you know, mumbled whatever. So it takes a while to get used to kind of hearing them. Now I can catch them better. So I should have sent you the video. I have one where I was in the kitchen drinking water. Some reason the camera clicked on and it literally I swallowed water down the wrong pipe and choked and it said don't choke. So, and then before, oh, also, I've had ghost dogs that bark. I have to send you, oh, I think I did. I had a EVP that was so clear, it said, I can see you. And it was daytime. So at that time, no other dogs lived here. And I came home and my dog was acting all weird. And I'm like, so, spirit, unspirit, ghost, ghost, whatever you are, if you're in here, can you say something? And it did. It said, I can see you. But first there was ghost dogs barking. I'm like, that wasn't my dog barking. I zoomed in on my dog. She was not barking. No other dogs lived here at that time. No dogs live here now. So just me. I have a dog and a cat. But this thing seems to like pets. Like I have an EVP where it purred and said hello to the cat. And the cat really attracts a lot of energy. It will uh night prowl, it's like time for bed. No, the cat's like, and he's out here, and I don't know if he sets off the motion cameras or if they set it off, but I always wonder, like, what makes what sets it off? There has to be something. And you'll hear all kinds of cracks and pops and stuff at night, but it's an old building, from built in the 60s. So I don't know if it's them or if it's just the building settling, you know what I'm saying? So I can't really prove it's them. But the EVPs that come through, they're pretty convincing to me.
They say that. Let me get some of these comments. Joseph said, well, Courtney said, oh my God, Ronnie isn't here to hear the orbs conversation. There's no convincing Ronnie, Courtney, that orbs are real. I don't think. But Joseph said orbs are super real, but not everything's an orb. I agree. Courtney said, don't unfollow, just blacklist me. I'm sure I'm on a lot of people's blacklist right now. We're not with the orb conversation. Courtney said, whenever you put a photo into Google and it pops back and says this appears to be a form of energy that manifests as a ball of light, orbs exist. That has happened. We have taken pictures of what we thought to be as an orb and put it into Google, and that's what has come back to us. Robert Ebert, we live, baby. Shout out Robert Ebert. What's up, brother? Courtney said you can share the video, show the video by sharing the file. James Brady, typically I ignore orbs or night vision unless it affects an object or person. I've seen an orb in the daytime with my own eyes. I want to touch on that. That's a good point that James had brought up as well. But before we get to that, I wanted to talk about cats. You mentioned your cat goes on a night prowl when it's supposed to be resting. Cats, I just read up on cats. Courtney has brought it to my attention many times. So we have a house out in the country, and it sits back in the woods. And when we first got that place, I grew up in the country myself, and we always needed cats because there's a lot of field mice and moles in the country, and they get in your house. Well, I've always had a cat for that reason. Well, my cat stays there, and I just noticed it gets really every cat that I've had. I just had one pass away, so we got another one. But this cat did the exact same thing. It just got really fat for no reason. So I started doing some research on why does my cat just get really fat? It can't be that many mice out there. Well, I came across an article where cats absorb energy. Cats see spirits and absorb the energy from those spirits. And I read a little deeper. Cats do absorb energy. I don't know how true it is, but both of my cats just got really overweight for no reason. Both of my cats act really weird. I have cameras in the house over there because I'm not there very often. I'm at this particular house more than I am at that one, and the cats act very weird on the camera. They'll run, they'll stop and just stare at things. They'll just jet across the floor for no reason. I'll see them when they're attacking the mice, but they act very. They have both had the same patterns of behavior, and so there might be something to that. I do
And
believe there could be
yeah,
there could be something to that absorbent energy thing. And James, before I go into any further, I got to give a shout out to my brother David Mason. Shout out DNA Racing, DNA Karaoke, a brother of mine from here in Virginia. I'm glad he stopped in. Good friend of mine. But James Brady said that he's seen him in the daytime with his own eyes. Now, I want to touch on that. A lot of people think, and a lot of people wonder why we investigate a lot live during the day. And that's because, number one, the cemeteries here do not let us in at night in Virginia. We cannot do that. If we do, that is a charge, and I do not look good in orange anymore. I'm going to put on some weight since I got out of the military. So I do not want to be in orange. But I have gotten just as much activity in the daytime as I have at night, if not more. And so my question to you is, does your activity in your apartment typically happen more at night or in the daytime?
it's 24/7. It gets when I pay more attention to it can get heavier. Like after PDX came, she was here October, I think, October or November. It was really active for over a month. Um, but I do see them with my eyes. I will see them like they play with the cat around the window, and I'll see like, was that a car? How could it be a car? Because it wouldn't be on that wall, it would be on that wall. So, I'm always second guessing myself. Was that an orb? Was that a car? But I have blackout curtains, so when they're closed, it shouldn't be a car unless the cat opens the windows. But I've also had open the closet door. The closet door latches. You turn the handle, it closes, right? And it's solid. It doesn't open. Something turned that handle and opened that door. And they opened it so hard it slammed against the front door because it's like in the corner. So after that, I was like, well, I'm not closing that closet anymore. So I leave it cracked open, just ajar. It's like, okay, it's not going to be latched anymore. Closet's open. You can come and go when you want. So when I sage, I try to cast out whatever is evil or negative because there is something evil following me. And I do believe it's there just related to my lifestyle, during substance abuse. You do a lot of things that you don't normally do. So I do believe the evil is there for that reason, but I also believe I have some protection. And as my, you know, growth grew back into my Christianity, um, I could really feel, something's protecting me. I can feel it. I know whatever I'm doing is working because it is protecting me.
Now,
So,
did you ever mess with any Ouija boards or any type of ritualistic stuff or anything like that?
never,
Okay.
never. I would be terrified to do that. My
Yeah.
girlfriend actually brought over a Ouija board. I'm like, oh, I don't even want to try
And
you
just
know.
for the record,
Well,
I
for
know
one,
people.
if we did it here and then they leave, I'm stuck with all the negative energy from the board. So I wouldn't want to do a board here, but I might do it somewhere else investigating, right? but I don't want
Yeah,
to
I
take a
mean,
chance of bringing anything else evil in here.
yeah, I mean, a lot of people see we've got it here, a decoration, and I collect them. I've got probably 4 or 5 like antique Ouija boards. Um, and you see people see the planchette tattoo on my hand. I do want to clear this up. We do not investigate with a Ouija board. I think they look cool. Um, I have it on my hand because I believe I'm a human Ouija board. I'm the one that talks to the spirit, but I don't. We don't investigate with them. Uh, I don't think that they're bad, so to speak. I'm not versed in them, and I have no interest in them as far as using them because technically a spirit box is pretty much the same thing. It's just the intention and the how you use it is different. So I particularly, I just don't. I personally, it's a personal choice. I don't fool with them. But I hear you several times, and I wanted to get into this with you just because I keep it real. And if you don't feel comfortable talking about it, we can just say move on, and we will. No offense, but you keep talking about religion, and when we talk about religion, there's a lot of people, especially people that I know, who say that it's a conflict with paranormal and religion. And me, I'm a religious guy myself, believe it or not. Um, I pray. That's my ritual before and after, and sometimes during investigation. Is I pray. I know you don't see me pray on live and stuff like that, but I've stepped away and said a prayer before. Um, my whole ritual. What's up, Grand Time? Did I miss you? I don't know if I missed you or not, but hello, Grand Time. Um, good to see you, lovely. Courtney Nicole. This is interesting from Tammy. What's up, Tammy? But yeah, this is one of those things I wanted to talk about with religion and paranormal. The same people who down us, paranormal investigators, and who will talk so much trash about us for what we do and what we believe with the paranormal, are the same people who will go out here and smoke a cigarette, who the same people who'll give you a middle finger in traffic, the same people who are doing drugs, the same people who are doing all this bad stuff. But the minute we mention paranormal, we're devil worshippers. And I talk about my rituals, my ritual before, during, and after. Like before an investigation, I will the first thing I do is take a shower. I take a really hot shower and I pray during my shower because I believe that cleanliness is the closest thing to godliness. So I say a prayer before I take a shower before every investigation, and then if I feel like there's some heaviness during the investigation where I'm being affected, I will light a cigar and smoke it. That is a Native American tradition. That is a very old time tradition that they believe smoke is clearing or offering. Tobacco is offering. So a lot of times that I'll sit and sometimes it's relaxing and it's clearing for me. So I've done that. I did it at Rainworth Lodge one time. Something was affecting me. I don't know if y'all were watching, if you were in that live or not, but I was in the blacksmith shop and I felt like something was trying to latch on to me while I was investigating. I smoked a cigar. I was with Chris Mendez actually. We both were smoking a cigar, and after that, I was fine. I was clear, and I went back in the blacksmith shop, and nothing happened at that point. So that's one of my rituals. Every investigation, there's a wooden crucifix on me while I'm investigating, and it seems like that's been God's been my main protection. I feel like if my Lord and Savior can't protect me, nothing else can. But
Yeah.
I've been using black sand as a protection. I have different things that I keep with me, by the way. So I mean, religion. I hear you talk about prayer and stuff like that. Has that helped you get through
Yes.
this?
It has helped. But I also I don't pray to crystals, but I do use crystals for like relaxation, like
Okay.
and to help remove negative energy, black tourmaline, I like rose quartz. So and then I just got into collecting crystals because they're so beautiful. So I really like crystals, but I don't worship them, if that makes sense. They're crystals, and they are grounding. But I do
Yeah.
have a crucifixion cross, and I do keep holy water. Um, I think the holy water helps. It pushes out negative. Now, if I have a bad day, this place, the energy is so thick. If I have a bad day, and I'm human, I do have bad days. The energy is so thick here, it literally reflects my bad energy and lets me hear myself. So I believe the one time I heard it tell me, like, you don't know shit. And I was like, right, I don't know. And basically that's why I came to the conclusion, like, yeah, you're not going to get the answers you're seeking. This is so much bigger than we will ever know. We're not going to know the answers till we're on the other side. So
Bingo.
it just started to make sense. Um, yeah, but the energy here, it's really amazing. And sometimes, yeah, it just makes you feel so good and sort of spiritually enlightened. But then, like I say, if you bring bad energy, or my friend will come over and she's got some negative stuff going on, it will reflect here. So after she leaves, it's like, oh, okay, I get it. You're here. You don't like it. And she kind of has some negative energy follow her around anyway. So, but it doesn't seem it likes the grandkids. It likes my son. My son stayed here for 3 months. He was sleeping on a rollaway bed in the dining room area, and I was in the bedroom. He in the middle of the night, like 3 in the morning, Mom, is a dog and cat with you? And I'm like, yeah, they're both sleeping with me. He said, something just jumped up on this rollaway bed with me. I mean, he was out of bed at my bedroom door saying, get up, there's something out here. Jumped on the bed with me. I'm going, there's nothing out here. What are you talking about? you know, but I'm going, yeah, I think I got ghost pets. And so it was after that that I got cameras, right? And I was like, yeah, I'm going to catch what you are. I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to catch it with camera. So I just kept filming and filming. And yeah, that's how it started. And then it just became an obsession because you want answers,
Right.
right?
Right.
So it
Definitely.
just became an obsession. And I only post short videos. I hardly ever post anything over, you know, 30 seconds. So it's like you're never gonna get famous. No one wants to do a TV show here. So I don't care if I get paid or not. I'm just sharing like what goes on here. I'm fascinated when I get the orbs that go through the TV because
Right.
like that is so amazing to me. But sometimes you'll see the faces in them. Like, what is that? And almost looks like some of them have black eyes. So that's like, why are those eyes black? But I don't know. I don't have answers for that. But
Well,
that cryptid thing that I caught outside, that thing, when I did a Google search, because I've run the orbs through the, Google photo search, and it'll come up with the answer. It's a ball of light, energy.
hold up on the
And
cryptid thing. Hold up on the cryptid. My dogs are not happy right now, but hold on. We want to get to the comments, and we're going to get to the cryptid, and I want to touch on energy. Courtney said, let's see, I want to get to the comments, make sure I got everybody. James said you can't pull the batteries from a Ouija board. That's true. Joseph said he's got 5 Ouija boards in my room, 4 feet away from me, but haven't messed with them in many years. And Joseph, if you mess with the Ouija board, my prayers be to you. Good luck with them. Be careful though. Just make sure you open and close those doors with each use, and be careful. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't you're a braver man than I am. Courtney said you're not seeing the comments. I'm gonna post them as I go. Courtney said, Tammy, it's the interesting topic in itself. I love how Michelle is keeping it so real and honest. Yes, Michelle is doing a good job with keeping it real. Joseph said, I stay away from them. It don't seem much different than spirit boxes. Yeah, you're right. They're not much different. It's just the how you operate them is the biggest difference in Ouija boards, in my opinion. Robert says, just like using sage as a Native American thing. Yeah, sage, smoke, sage, the herb. I believe it's herb itself. Yes, it's smoking the cigar. All those ritualistic things, cleansing. I do believe in that stuff, along with prayer. In my opinion, is good for protection. All but one has never been opened. Yeah, I've got mine. Mine have all been open. They're mostly antique Ouija boards. This is actually a doormat that I got from Spirit Halloween. I just thought it was cool for the decoration.
It is cool. It's a cool background. I like
Yeah,
it.
yeah, most of this stuff came from Spirit Halloween. It just looks cool. Except for this poster, you can't see it, but it's an actual letter that Eileen Warnos wrote while she was in prison. I need to move
Ooh,
it so it's in the camera. Yeah, it's a letter
monster
that
lady.
yeah, the monster. Yeah, she
Yeah.
I have an actual letter that Eileen Warnos wrote to her friend Dawn right here. She wrote it on death row. It's pretty cool. Somebody said I feel drawn to buy them I feel drawn every time I see an antique one that's really old. I think my daughter has me beat though. Hers, yeah, she has a really old one, and she got an antique store. I was gonna buy it for myself, but she wanted it, and so she beat me to it. And Joseph said I had a weird experience as a kid with one, and I'm honestly shocked how I had to buy everyone I saw. Yeah, I never had an experience with it because I never played with one. I mean, I played with it as a kid. I think my grandma had one in her closet, but I never had any experiences with it. Now they're just for decoration. So, Michelle, wanted to talk about. God, I'm coughing. You were talking about energy. Um, I speak a lot about energy. I'm not going to get into the scientific portion tonight. This show's more about you than my theories. But I will say, negative energy brings negative energy. Positive energy typically brings positive energy. And when you were talking about your friend bringing the negative energy, it produces the negative energy in the apartment and it reflects on how you feel that day. That's very real. Like, even during investigations, I noticed that if I have a team member with me or anybody investigating with me that's had a bad day, I can tell by how the investigation goes. Um, Even during our public investigations, that guy or who comes with his wife because she dragged him out, and that's something they signed up to do as a couple. And he's looking at me like, "You're full of shit." During the whole spiel that I give of the history and all this, that, and the third, the investigation is typically going to be a slow night. But when I have that group of people who is excited and pumped and ready to do it, we typically have a great night. And grand times in here. I'm a talk about you for a minute, Grand Time. Grand Time's with a group of girls who investigated with us a while back at a place called Rainworth Lodge, which happens to be my favorite place to go investigate. Their energy is together is like none other than I've ever experienced with a group of people that I don't know. And the two times I've investigated with them as a group, I've seen probably the most activity as a group. I'm talking real paranormal activity. And I take notes and I jot stuff down and I have a file on my computer of our investigation. Evening, sir. Good to see you. But I take notes after investigations, each one we do, and I have files because I like the video. And I'll tell you that the energy in the room that you bring does truly affect the investigation. And in your case, your day to day life is one big investigation from our conversation that we had.
Yeah.
And you have to remain positive. That's the only way you're going to be safe. You have to remain.
Right.
It's
And
almost.
for me. It really
Huh?
has. It's been really good for me to work on remaining positive because energy flows, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been really good for me. Um, and it's taught me a lot about other people's energy and how easy it is uh, for that energy to linger, transfer,
Mm-hmm.
stick around if it wants, and especially negative, because it will feed on negative energy. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so it just compiles negative, brings more negative. And
If we go back to
so it
science,
really
it's
taught me to
the
stay
theories are true.
positive.
Yeah.
Be grateful every day, stay positive, work on my prayers. I do pray day and night and sometimes during the day too. And then it's more I don't hear them unless it's on video or like a whistle over my head, but I can see them. So whatever, spiritual sight it opened up, it gave me sight, but not the hearing. So I've been working on trying to hear spirit more. And I haven't been successful yet, but I'm going to keep working on it because I believe that's not something you can learn overnight. I believe it probably takes a long time.
It's all a
But
process.
since this started, I I do believe I don't see the future, but I can sometimes sense that things are going to happen. So my intuition is better, right? So that's, building up I have a better intuition about friends, even when go to a grocery store or something. Like, oh, it's negative here. Like Walmart, perfect example. You can feel the negative when you get in the parking lot. So, it's way different than like Safeway up the street. Um, Walmart is like really negative, where if I go to Safeway, I know every cashier in there. So it's all light and comfortable. How you doing today? Where's your dog? So yeah, the energy there is great. So but Walmart, it's like, oh, protect yourself. So I do crystals and I do. I have a rosary, a cross. And then what was I was going to tell you? There with Christian religion, you ask, Jesus to forgive you, and you repent your sins, and it's a bit of a process, but I believe He forgives me. So, um, in Jewish faith, they have a ritual to forgive you for sinning, and it has to do with like chicken, and they cut the head off, and they swirl it over your head, and blood drips, and it's like I was like, yeah, I'm good with all that. Um, yeah, the difference in religions on how they forgive sin. Yeah, it's just another rabbit hole of research. Like I could go on with that for days. So because I was thinking, do I need to do, one for the Christian side, one because I don't know. Is it boiled down to who you are, where you came from? But I do believe there's a sequence in energy, moon, weather, location, um, yeah, all of that. There's like a sequence in events, and it changes and shifts all the time too. So yeah, staying positive, staying grateful, and uh, keeps everything light and much better than it was when I moved in here.
Yeah, absolutely. You said a lot that like really reminded me that ever since the more I've investigated through the years, the more it's opened up my senses to people. I can talk to somebody now within the first minute of talking to them. I determine whether I'm going to continue to speak to that person or am I going to just politely move on just by their energy and how they project their energy. People project, whether you realize or not, your energy. And it could just be a bad day for that person. And I can almost tell if that's how you really are or that or are you just having a bad day. And I'll give you a case in point. I ran into a lady recently who was having a bad day. She wasn't a bad person. She was a sweet person having a bad day. And I let her get all that out. And I just had a simple conversation with her, and the whole mood shifted. And we had a great conversation. But there's other people who have a bad aura about them, and when they project it, I can almost feel it, or my intuition of whether I'm going to go downtown today or not. I can feel that almost in the atmosphere before I do it. So that was a good one. I'm going to get to these comments, and I'm going to get to your another one last topic, and we're going to wrap it up. I kept you long enough, but you had so much good stuff that I wanted to talk to you about. And yeah, you've had a lot of great stuff, but I wanted to say, let's see. Grand Time said we are full of excitement for them. Yes, this group of girls right here, ladies right here. I don't want to call y'all girls. Y'all are grown women. This group of women right here are fantastic to investigate with. I want to shout them out. Joseph said you heard us talking about that place and was pumped to go till he said it was being sold. That is the Rainworth Lodge. It is up for sale, but is not sold yet. So they are still open to having investigations there. I highly recommend you go before it is sold, because it is a location that has shown me good paranormal activity. So I highly recommend you go. Grand Time said, Joseph, if you're able to go, definitely go. It's my favorite place. We are trying to plan one last trip before they sell it. Grand Time, I hope you guys make it back out there, and I hope y'all get the same activity that y'all were able to get the last time we were there. It was amazing. And that activity, I have clips of that activity on our TikTok. It's at Hill City Ghost. And I want to let everybody in the group know, if y'all are watching, go follow Michelle Wilfong on her YouTube channel. I think it's the haunted. What is your YouTube? What Michelle Wilfong?
Michelle Wilfong. Yeah, my haunted apartment. Yeah,
I
just
follow
my
you
name.
like all of my stuff. So
Yeah, I
um,
try to follow and support everyone.
yeah, go follow Michelle. She's got a great series. Joseph said, Grand, were you speaking to me? Lois Clark said, great show. Thank you. Thank you, Lois. It's always a pleasure to see you pop in. Grand Time said, yes, Joseph. Joseph said, that's awesome. When are you trying to go? I highly recommend everybody in here go to Rainworth Lodge. It is a great place. Hopefully, it won't sell and some idiot buys it and jacks up the prices. And I'm going to say hello to Mr. Ryan Jones. Awesome guy, ASPS team member. And he has the freaking awesome paranormal show, which airs every Tuesday night at 9 o'clock, right after our show on the Other Side podcast. Please go follow him on the Rift Nation Network. Great friend of ours, great show, awesome show, by the way. And don't worry, it's a pop-up podcast, y'all. We're just something we decided to start doing. So please go follow Ryan Jones at the freaking awesome paranormal show. He is actually the inspiration for us to start doing podcasts. So if that should tell you anything, if you like our show, you'll love his. Robert says, I want to go to bed and breakfast that is haunted here in Florida. Robert, I highly recommend you get into the bed and breakfast that's haunted, because you'll have a blast. Take your cell phone and a recorder and do your thing. So Michelle, before we go, one last topic I'm gonna ask you about. I promise I'll let you go. I know you got better things to do than sit here and talk to me. But I've been so curious about your journey here. I've been following you for a little while now. You have some cryptid activity. You sent me some pictures, and I've been trying like hell to figure out what I was looking at. It looked like a cat. Some of it looked like a cat with horse feet, and I was like, "What the hell is this?" I was like, "What in the hell is
I
that?"
don't know. When I Google searched it, it said it looked like a German, showed me German elf statues. I was like, what? But that is, I think, something elemental that's connected to the land. I don't know what it is, but there are things that we cannot see with the eyes that are out there.
No, your land. You said it had some Native American history. I'm wondering if they cursed the land before they left.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it. They were slaughtered. I mean, yeah,
No,
yeah,
you're
just
out west, right?
tribe. Serious. A few
You're
other
out west.
tribes around here made it. There was, I think, 3 tribes in this area, and there are a few of the other 2 tribes, but the Clackamas tribe was just wiped out. So very
Hmm.
sad for them. And I have a photo of a Native American, and you can see the feather. Um, like my girlfriend noticed it right away. Hey, he looks like a chief or something. He's wearing a feather. I don't know, but strange enough, I do see faces in what I call orbs, and when they flash through, they leave a tracer, and it'll leave a paper imprint, and you have to pay attention and slow down the film to catch it, but it's really amazing.
Well,
But yeah, I do believe there's something very naturous here. And then I believe the Native American is embedded in the land because of where I'm at in uh like in between I'm in a triangle where the creek and the river meet. So it was a great place for them to fish. I'm surrounded by cedar trees, and I'm not kidding, some of these trees are 300 feet tall. They're huge. The trunks of them are huge, big around as my car. So there's some big trees in this neighborhood.
it means they're very old.
Yes.
So I'm wondering if you're dealing with that and cryptid and stuff that you're having, you got positive energy flowing through there with spirits. You got and negative. You got curse land going on. It's responding to energy. You got intelligent and residual. You got a lot going on there. So,
Yeah.
but you're very knowledgeable. You're very real. You got a beautiful personality. I think that I think that you definitely a good example and a good role model in the paranormal world. Um,
Oh, thank you.
I do. I really do. We need more conversations like this in public. For one, you hear a lot of negativity in the paranormal world, and you hear a lot of people just blowing smoke with stuff. But you keep everything real, and the steps you take, like especially early on in the conversation, the steps that you took yourself just to debunk yourself, I thought were awesome. I really thought that that was, I'll give you a hand for that. I mean, most people would just see something and think, okay, something's wrong here. I got orbs everywhere, but you actually went out of your way to debunk that. That was great. The fact that you recognize the energy shift in your house, that's another big thing. And then the fact that you took the steps to wire your whole house up with cameras. Um, you're way ahead of a lot of investigators that I know personally. So I think that keep doing what you're doing, keep collecting the data, keep tracking it, and we'll have this conversation again, hopefully in the future. And we'll see where it goes from there. I'm going to keep following you. Like I said, I follow you on like 3 or 4 of my YouTube accounts. I think I've got a on the other side YouTube account, a Hill City Paranormal account, my personal account. And I do that because I've got like a bunch of different things. I got like 4 computers in this house and 3 TVs. So I never know where I'm going to be at in this house. I got an office upstairs for my real job. And then I got one in here. So I never know where I'm going to be. So I'm always on a different account. So I'm going to follow you and keep track of what's going on in your world. And if you get something weird, shoot it over to me. Let me see if we can't figure it out. But where can we find you and follow you and keep track of you and what's going on in your world?
Michelle Wilfong, I'm on YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook.
And is there anything you would like to say to our guest that's been watching you?
Thank you, everyone, for watching and following my story. If you get a chance, check out a couple of my videos. They're really short, really easy to watch, quick, and yeah, I'm gonna keep exploring, and hopefully I can find some answers. I know they're not gonna be the ones that I want, but you never know. Might get some answers on, because it's, yeah, like I said, bigger than we are. There's something that's bigger than we are.
I agree. And I'm going to get to these comments. Let's see. Joseph said, "Hey, Hillside, it's me and my son that are putting together a private Penhurst trip. It sounds like 2 spots may be open. Ask Copperhead about it or keep in contact with me. Love to have you." Joseph, send me a message with your information. We might be able to make that happen. Thank you for the invite. Hopefully, the stars will align and we can make that trip happen. We investigate and collaborate with anybody. So shoot me a message on here or at hillcityghost@gmail.com. And hopefully we can arrange that. Grand Time said that would be great. Keep me posted. They think your dog is cute. Your dog is very cute.
Oh, thank
Grand
you.
Time said they will. Grand Time said thank you, Michelle. Joseph said thank you, Grand Time. Well, I am Sean with Hill City Paranormal and On the Other Side podcast. I would like to personally thank you, Michelle, for our last minute chat tonight. Y'all make sure you follow Michelle on her socials because she does have a cool little series that shows her apartment. Make sure you give us a follow at Hill City Ghost across all platforms. We go live every week, every Sunday at 3. We were late today, y'all. But we go we go live every Sunday at 3 o'clock on TikTok. We also post content on there. Reminding y'all, we are not content creators. We like to create content. And we go live every Tuesday on the Other Side Paranormal podcast right here. We talk about anything weird, spiritual, ghost, and paranormal, cryptids, all that good stuff. Thank y'all for tuning in tonight. You guys sleep well, and we will see you on the other side.
Thanks, everyone.